For us women, that time of the month can be the worst. The cravings, the bloating, and PMS. Ugh. Like I mentioned, I've been using Hormone Harmony to balance my hormones, and it's really helped with relieving my mood swings and just not feeling so off. Hormone Harmony contains science-backed herbal extracts called adaptogens, which help the body adapt to stressors like hormonal changes that happen naturally throughout a woman's life, which is why Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to making women's lives easier. It has zero sugar and is gluten-free, dairy-free, non-GMO, and third-party tested. The product is so popular, a bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. For a limited time, you can get 15% off on your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code DATEABLE at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off today.
Yes, we all know the quality of makeup and skincare products are important, but have you ever thought about how you apply them is even more important for results? Since 2019, Anissa Beauty has been leading the way in creating vegan and cruelty-free makeup and skincare brushes that are safe for your skin and the planet and are designed to optimize the application and absorption of skincare products. Their popular Pinnacle Foundation brush has made such a big difference for me. I used to hate wearing foundation because it always felt so caked on, but with this brush, I can use so little product and it goes on flawlessly due to its patented triangular shape. Anissa Beauty's brushes deliver value and quality like no other. The same goes for their Pinnacle Skin Brush, which has completely changed how I apply skincare. I no longer use my hands to apply my products. Check out the Pinnacle Foundation brush as well as several other amazing brushes at anissabeauty.com and get 30% off site-wide with the code DATEABLE. That's ANISA beauty.com. And don't forget to use the code DATEABLE. Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to Dateable. Hello, friends. Welcome to Brunch Talk, where we address all of your burning dating questions.
And burning, they always are. They never cease to amaze me, the ones that we get in.
On fire.
Fire.
Burning down the kitchen. Have you ever had a flambe anything?
I have. It's really fancy, right?
Isn't that funny that we're like, ooh, fire at the table? That's so cool. When you think about it, it's really not that safe.
And you've been told all these years not to do stuff like that. And then it's just like, oh, but we're in a culinary kitchen.
Yeah.
Cool.
For an extra $40.
Yeah.
We're going to set your food on fire. You're like, yes, please sign me up. Take my money.
There's something about that experience, though, that does make it next level, right?
Yeah. It's like the circus. You're like, whoa, smoke and fire and acrobats. I guess it's equivalent to dating is we ask for no drama, yet a lot of us want the drama.
Yeah.
In fact, we'll pay extra for the drama.
I think our question today is getting lit on fire. It's getting lit, that's for sure.
What is this lit question that we have? It is, do breakups reveal someone's true character?
And then for more info, the listener that wrote in, my most recent breakup experience was so strange as the hardest part isn't the relationship ending, rather how my ex-boyfriend handled it. He was mean and expecting drama. It's like after 4 years, we never knew each other. Do you believe the adage that you see who someone really is during a breakup?
Yes. You hear this from people going through divorce too. It's like, oh, now I see someone's true colors because it's getting petty. It's getting contentious. I don't think you need a breakup to see someone's true colors. I think you just need some sort of conflict, a hard situation for someone to reveal how they would deal with adversity.
But this person has been with her partner for 4 years. That's what threw me on this one. It's not like they had a quick relationship and then she saw this conflict come out. I would assume they've had some conflict in 4 years.
I think you'd be surprised.
But you don't know.
I want to know what this person was avoiding all 4 years. Because it's not just the breakup. Shit is building up. There's resentment there. And this was the opportunity for it to come out.
Well, okay. I'm just going to think about it a different way, though. I wonder if sometimes people feel like at the end of a breakup, there's just nothing to lose at that point. So I'm just going to really show how I've been feeling. Maybe it's not that they're like a change of character, but it's like built up and they didn't want to reveal it because of fear of it ending. But once it's ended, they're just like, fuck it. This is what I'm going to say. Get it all out.
Exactly. Yeah. In those 4 years, you could have just avoided everything to keep the peace. But at the end, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, remember that time 2.5 years ago when this happened? I was building up all this anger and resentment towards you back then. And then now it's like, yeah, now it's your chance to express yourself.
I mean, I do think breakups, it's clearly a stressful time, not a positive time in anyone's life, even if you're ready to move on. So I think this stuff can really surface, and you're probably just not in the best mental health state in general going through it. So, yeah, like maybe the boyfriend in a couple months, once the dust has settled a bit, will look back and be like, ugh, maybe I shouldn't have been mean or did the drama, whatever that was. So I think some of it could be like the swept up in the moment as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of high flying emotions. There's probably a lot of undiscussed topics and problems. I get that. At the end of anything, it's hard because it's so real now. And I've definitely seen a few breakups in my lifetime that didn't go very well, simply because I think in those relationships, we just never freely expressed ourselves. So this was the opportunity to do so.
I mean, I was gonna ask you, like, have you ever had like a blow up relationship? I mean, I guess like your last one a
Yeah.
little,
Yeah. The
because
last one.
yeah, like, have you had one that you were just like, wow, this person's totally different than who I thought they were?
I haven't had a blow up breakup, but I've definitely had people become really petty after a breakup. I
Mm.
think I've mentioned this one before. My New York boyfriend, we were together for 5 years. We lived together and we had this, I thought it was an amicable breakup. He went to business school and I stayed in New York. But I think it was 6 months after he sent me an invoice
Oh,
for,
right.
remember, for the furniture that he left in our apartment and he wanted me to pay for it. And I think it was like a $800 bill and I negotiated down to 600. I mean, at that point, you're like, there's no opportunity for us to get back together. I like no longer see this person in any way, shape, or form as like a romantic partner.
But do you think it was just pain under that? Because this is also like the boyfriend that proposed to you where
Hmm.
you said no. So there's a lot of backstory here too.
Oh, yeah. I think he was really hurt. I can also see his family jumping in and saying, okay, well, you guys are really broken up. What about all that furniture you left? Is it
Mm,
fair for her to keep it all and she doesn't pay for it? I mean, is that really fair? Sometimes like in breakups, friends and family like to jump in.
yeah.
It's never a good place for them to do it. But then somehow, because your emotions are heightened, you're easily influenced.
That's a really good point. You don't really know where this is coming from. So I feel like, of course, like we don't know your partner. I'm gonna like infer from your story, UA, because I think it's easier for me to draw conclusions because I
Mm,
know you. Not that I knew your partner, because this was in New York long before I knew you, but
yeah.
I've heard enough of this story. I feel like what's happening, it's not necessarily a reveal of their true character. I think all of us have parts of us that are the more parts that we'd want to put on display early in relationships, are better sides that usually come out early in dating. Of course, when they're triggered by an event like a breakup, there may be some sides of us that maybe we weren't putting out on dates 1 through 3 that are actually still parts of us. I don't know if it's like, oh, I didn't know this person at all. I think there was just stuff that was suppressed. And I would assume that a lot of this is coming from the real pain beneath it. I did this workshop. I was telling UA about it a couple weeks ago. It was like about communication and relationships. And part
Hmm.
of it was there were 5 people total in the group. One person shared. One person, after they shared, really talked about like what feelings did it bring up? And then the next person, what feelings did it bring up for them?
Hmm.
And then another person gave verbatim what they said back. And then the last person came up with, what is the deeper meaning here?
Yeah.
So I would look at like, what are they saying that feels mean and hostile and petty and whatever it might be? And like, what is the deeper meaning? What is the feeling that they have behind it? And I'm not saying to like necessarily excuse it. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You guys are broken up, but at least can justify to you that it wasn't like you didn't know this person for 4 years. There's just some stuff going on, clearly.
I mean, the thing is, this is definitely driven by fear, by hurt, by anger, by pride, by ego. I mean, there's so many layers to someone's emotional outburst. It really begs the question, why do breakups have to bring the side out of people? What are we doing wrong in the relationship that breakups can be this dramatic and heartbreaking? I think this is a wider question for everyone to think about. It'd be great if breakups were amicable and fair and for people to walk away and say, yeah, we closed that chapter. We still have so much respect for each other. But more times than not, I hear of people losing respect for their ex-partner after a breakup, and that's unfortunate.
I mean, I want to go into this a little more, like what this can mean and how do you circumvent this from happening in the first place. But before we do, let's take a minute to hear from our sponsors. I've been really brushing up on my Italian for my trip to Italy, and this partnership with Rosetta Stone could not have come at a better time. I've been carving out 30 minutes a day on my walks, and their app has made learning a new language so easy. And it's not just Italian. This is such a steal right now because Rosetta Stone is offering our listeners lifetime access with 25 languages for 50% off the normal price. If you're looking to brush up on your Spanish, French, or even Arabic or Polish, they got you as the trusted expert for 30 years and millions of users. The best part though is how fast it is because Rosetta Stone immerses you in the language and there's built-in speech recognition to give you feedback on your pronunciation. So don't put off learning that language. There's no better time than right now to get started. Dateable listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/today. That's 50% off unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/today today.
As the crisp fall air rolls in and the leaves begin to change, don't rely only on pumpkin to spice up your life. Embrace the natural power of cannabis this fall with Via. Whether you're lounging by the fire or exploring new adventures, Via's premium federally legal cannabis products are your perfect companion. Farmed and crafted with care in the U.S. and trusted by over 500,000 customers, Via has a product for everyone. Via just launched their high THCA flower and brand new flavors for the THCA vape line, so you have more options than ever to blaze your own trail. You've all heard me talking also about their gummies. My favorite is the High Love Gummy that will awaken your senses and increase blood flow. I absolutely love it for pretty much every occasion. So if you are over 21 years of age, head to viahemp.com and use the code DATEABLE to receive a 15% off. That's VIIAHEMP.com and use the code DATEABLE at checkout. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. This fall, enhance your everyday with Via.
Do you like to be in the know of what's really happening with celebrity gossip? Do you like to hear about the drama happening on reality shows before the shows even air? If you're not listening to Cocktails and Gossip yet, the time is now. I'm obsessed with this podcast because each week, Bea and Amanda, the hosts of the podcast, bring you the tea on reality TV and the craziest celebrity blinds from their website, Bravos and Cocktails. You know, I've been on a real Bravo binge lately, so this podcast is the perfect complement. And trust us, they do not hold back. Listen and you'll have some unfiltered tea to spill at your next dinner party or in your group chat. Pop culture lovers, Bravo lovers, and people who just can't get enough gossip. This is a podcast you should definitely check out. And who knows, you might hear something from Cocktails and Gossip first before you hear it anywhere else. Scandival, anyone? Listen to the weekly Cocktails and Gossip podcast wherever you get your podcasts. So I'm going to knock on wood here. You can hear me. I've actually not had a bad breakup in the sense of like a blow up. So I'm knocking on wood. So hopefully it doesn't still happen. I think some of it though, you would be surprised because I've talked to friends too that have gone through things and at the end, the person does change. And a lot of it is because they did not address these issues for so long. Any other thoughts? Like, what else could drive this? Or what other ways can we get ahead of it where it's not coming to light this way?
I think certain resentments get amplified at the end of the relationship, where in the relationship you go, oh, it's not a big deal. Sweep it under the rug. I just want to keep the peace, or this is not a red flag. It's not a deal breaker. But have you noticed when you are on opposing sides, all of a sudden, those $50 that someone owes you
That's true.
now is worth like $100. Everything kind of doubles in impact. So I think it's, in my learning, is whatever you're feeling, like even just a little ounce of resentment or disappointment or anger, it's better to express it in the moment than really have it build, or to convince yourself it's not a big deal. Things like that build up over time, and it never ends well.
I also feel like if one person is blindsided by the breakup, when you've been with someone for 4.5 years, I personally believe that at that point, if you break up, both people should have seen it coming.
Yeah.
Like, I think your situation, you were totally blindsided. And that's why it was not a great breakup. And you saw someone's sides and outside character come through. But I think if you're talking along the way and people are being upfront and honest and transparent, even if it's things the other person doesn't want to hear, at least by the time you break up, it's not a total shock.
Yeah, I think just being blindsided. I mean, in my situation, the infidelity was,
Oh, yeah.
just sent shockwaves through my system. And I had so many moments of feeling so petty. Like, I can't believe I spent all this money flying to Taiwan to meet his parents a month after he tried to sleep with someone. And then I had to remember and also just let myself know in those moments, my moments of truth, where this is worth it. This is for someone I love. And I can't fault myself for it, and I can't fault anybody for it. There's no point in being petty. But yeah, when you're angry, when you're fucking pissed, like, those things matter.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like clearly you could have the self awareness to be like, I shouldn't be upset about this. But I agree. It's like sometimes in the moment when someone has totally fucked you over, it's hard to have that. So I guess for both parties going through it, I think one, clearly in your instance, if he hadn't cheated and it ended because of him just being upfront and being like, look, I'm not ready to make the next step.
Yeah.
It would have sucked, but I don't know if you would have had that same animosity and like anger.
No way. I wouldn't have been petty at all. I would have been like, we tried our best. We're just not a fit. He wants to get out of this relationship. Yes, that hurts, but I have no anger towards him. But like, don't betray someone.
So I guess to this listener, we don't know how your relationship ended.
True.
But maybe instead of like saying, is this a reveal of their character? Look at the bigger picture of everything that happened. And if it truly is, they're just mean and petty, at least you're happy you're out of this.
Yes, exactly. It's such a learning opportunity. And don't put it just on them, put it on yourself too. If you think this is like a change of character, where were your blind spots during the relationship?
Yeah.
What did you miss? What were you avoiding? What were you hiding? What were you sweeping?
Yeah.
It's all good to know, right? And like at the end, when this reveal of someone's true, quote unquote, true character, it's also reflection of stuff that you missed.
Yeah. And we're not saying that to like blame you. None of that. It's more of,
No.
at the end of the day, we can sit around and discuss like, do we think it's them? Do we think that they are a terrible person and they were just covering it up this whole time? But what does that actually do for you? Nothing. So if we can look at it like, okay, this happened at the end, what led us here? At least you can learn and grow from this experience for whatever next relationship you have.
But just be so happy you're out of this relationship. It
Yeah.
sounds like
It sounds like it was the right call.
sounds like a train wreck towards the end anyway. So yeah, get out of that. Get out of that hot mess.
Sometimes that's easier to get over in the long
Yes.
run. Like I remember you saying that, you were like, it's almost like him doing something so terrible made me be able to get over it, because you're not thinking about like, well, should I give it another shot? Or
Yeah.
what if this happened? You're just like, nope, showed me who they are.
Yeah, If the question of, oh, could we have tried harder is taken off the table, yeah, it makes it much easier to move on. Get the fuck out. Anyway, great question. Thank you for sending that in. For all of our listeners, you can also send in your questions. Easiest way, here's a hack, is to leave us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars. And in the body of our review, you can ask the question there. And if you tell us you pre-ordered our book, How to Be Dateable, coming out in January 2025, you'll be bumped to the top of the list and we'll give you a shout out. But that's the easiest way. But there are other ways too. You can DM us on Instagram at Dateable Podcast, or you can email us hello@dateablepodcast.com.
Yep. And remember to pre-order that book, howtobedateable.com.
Yay!
And also subscribe for our long form content. In the intros of that, we will be giving some shout outs to the people that leave the review. So if that's you, tune in then.
See y'all next week.
Bye.